Good evening, everybody. Our March 24, 2025 meeting is now called to order. We're going to have invocation by yours truly, and Councilman Nielsen is going to lead us in the pledge on tonight. Will we stand for prayer and pledge? Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for another day. It's a beautiful day that we have, and as usual, we want to make sure we make the most of it. Want to make sure that we are kind to mankind, that we are doing the best we can to promote peace and prosperity in our neighborhood, in our community, and in our world. God, we're asking tonight that you will look down upon not only the city, but every corner of this parish and give us the mindset and the will to leverage any resources we have so that we can, for the best opportunities in economic development. We know we've had a devastating blow in the closure of the Red River Paper Mill, but we thank you that we will maximize this opportunity and that better jobs will come. We believe that. We know it's a difficult task. So we ask you now for blessing us and guiding us in this effort. We once again pray for our first responders and all those who perform duties on behalf of the residents of this city, the tourists who come here, the college students who are studying here, that they will be very equipped to do that job, and they'll do it with an excellent spirit. All of us, anybody on the city payroll, Lord God, we want to do our very best. God, we also pray now for the beautiful and wonderful ladies of Zeta who are here with us today. They have a cause and issue that they are focusing on, and it deals with autism. I thank you for blessing their efforts. They will not only bring recognition to autism, but that whatever advancements that we can make, I pray that you would lead, that they would be leaders in that particular endeavor. God, we thank you for these city councilmen and everybody who's involved in this meeting, that we would do, as Paul says, that we let everything be done decently and in order. That's how we want to conduct your business tonight. Even if we happen to disagree on something, we want to do it in an orderly fashion. We ask these and many other blessings in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Councilman Nielsen, for leading us in the pledge. Before we go any farther in the agenda, I want to ask you to please take a moment to silence your cell phones. Those who came after Councilwoman at large admonished us to do it. The City Council encourages public participation. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. However, this time limit may be reduced if there are numerous speakers on a particular item. To ensure efficient proceedings, all persons addressing the City Council shall state their name and shall speak in a civil and courteous manner. Speakers shall address the agenda topic only to which they are speaking on and shall not be repetitive. Members of the audience, please respect the rights of others and refrain from creating noise or other disturbances so as to disrupt or disturb persons who are addressing the City Council, council members who are speaking, or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of the meeting. Again, we thank you for adhering to those instructions. Now we're going to have our reading and approval of the minutes from our most recent meeting on March 10, 2025.
Mayor, I make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of March 10, 2025, and they be adopted as recorded. There be no corrections.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to dispense with the reading of the minutes and to adopt them as they have been recorded. Any comment about this particular motion? Oops, sorry.
Silence all cell phones, please.
All right. All right, see it now. Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
P.T.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have a very special guest, Miss Sharon Nicole Durham, is with us today from the farmers market and talk about the spring and summer season. Please, Ms. Sharon Nicole Durham, will you state your first and last name and then you can go into your presentation.
The star of the day.
First of all, my middle name is not Nicole, it's Tony. My first name is Sharon, my last name's Durham.
Durham.
I am the coordinator of the Natchitoches Farmers Market, and we are having our first market April 26th. We'd like to invite everybody, the community and everybody else out to our market and enjoy going brown. UPS has donated over 100 oak trees to the farmers market. Okay. And we're giving them out for free at that first market, and that's why we ask everybody to go brown, because it's UPS that's donating them. That's about it. We also have donated in Shamard oak tree to each one of the council members in their name to the new Ben Johnson Park that's going to be built. We're donating in a tree in y'all's name, each one of you's name. That's what the certificate is that I gave to y'all.
That's all.
It's awesome. Thank you very much.
And there'll be a placard whenever the park's built. We'll be having a placard at each tree stating y'all's name, and that it's not in memory, but dedicated in y'all's names.
Thank
So
you,
y'all come
Sharon.
out to the farmers market and see what we have to offer this year.
Yeah.
And I would encourage everyone to, because they really have some awesome things going on at that farmer's market.
Thank you, Betty.
I love it.
And Ms. Sharon, when you say the first date is?
April 26th.
April 26th, okay.
She has handy dandy schedule.
Oh, yeah, the scheduling here. Okay.
This is
Thank you.
awesome.
Yes.
Hopefully this will get on the website.
Yeah, we'll definitely get it on the website. We'll get it on our social media as well, and we'll get it on the Go Natchitoches app too. We always encourage people to download the Go Natchitoches app. And Sharon does a fantastic job and very hard worker. And so we appreciate her efforts.
Just want to say,
keep
Mayor,
things
if I
going.
can chime in here, they're going to have the Dunkin' booth, and Eddie will be there. You can hit the ball at him and throw him in the water.
I'll do it again, I'll do it.
Yep. Thank you, Miss Durham. And I like to mess with people, give them my own middle name. That's my way of learning what their real middle name is, so, you know. Well, you just said, what she said? You didn't have one, okay. I thought you said something and I heard you say you didn't have one.
Oh, Tony.
Tunny, okay, that's good. Got it. All right, thank you again, Ms. Durham. Now, look, next thing we want to do is ask the council for a motion to amend the agenda to add resolution number 23 of 2025.
Mayor, make a motion that we amend the agenda to add resolution number 023 of 2025 to the agenda.
I second.
I think we got a second. We got a very quiet second.
It was
Councilman
quiet.
Watson.
I
All right.
second.
But we do have a second. Thank you for the motion and second. And any comment about this particular motion? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes. All right, that motion carries. Look, we've got a short agenda for you on tonight. And the first one includes, and I appreciate you, council, for amending the agenda to add this proclamation, which we think is really important to focus on and to give some attention to. So we have Councilman Harrington who's reading the proclamation.
This is Proclamation 23 of 2025, and this is proclamation whereas autism spectrum disorder is the fastest growing developmental disability in the United States, affecting 1 in 36 children and countless families nationwide. And whereas autism spectrum disorder is an urgent public health concern that requires greater awareness, education, and resources to support individuals on the spectrum and their families. And whereas Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated has made a profound impact in promoting autism awareness, advocacy, and support, particularly for persons of color affected by ASD, through their initiatives in education, research, and funding. And whereas there is currently no identified cause or cure for autism, but early intervention, therapy, and community support can make a significant difference in the lives of individuals with autism and their families. And whereas the Mu Omega Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated in Natchitoches, Louisiana is dedicated to championing autism awareness through initiatives such as Autism Awareness Day in the Park on April 12th, 2025 at Natchitoches City Park, fostering understanding, inclusion, and support within our community. And whereas the City of Natchitoches stands in solidarity with individuals with autism, their families, and organizations working tirelessly to enhance awareness, education, and access to resources. Now therefore, I, Mayor Ronnie Williams Jr. of Natchitoches, Louisiana, do hereby proclaim April 2nd, 2025 as World Autism Day and April 2025 as Autism Awareness Month in the City of Natchitoches. I encourage all citizens, businesses, and organizations to take part in activities that increase understanding, acceptance, and support for individuals with autism and their families. I move to adopt Proclamation 23 of 2025.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. And again, I appreciate the lovely ladies of Zeta Phi Beta, is that right? For taking on this cause, this issue, being an educator for 12 years. Obviously, we certainly had to educate students with autism. And I will just note that we have the city's first inclusive play set at Richardson Park. And I say first because we started there because there was an opportunity that allowed us to, win a grant and place it there. But it's certainly not going to be our last inclusive play set. So we would encourage individuals with exceptionalities to certainly visit that park as we try to implement that type of play set in other places. I don't know, Zetas, you look great in your blue. Do we have a spokesperson who wants to say something about it? We certainly want to get us a picture, but certainly didn't want to pass on the opportunity. I think I remember going to an event you all had last year, and I think it was well organized and helped to bring attention. So is there someone who wants to speak on this particular cause? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Please state your first and last name and just give us whatever remarks you would like to.
My name is Frida Bristow, and thank you all for having us in the proclamation. On April 12th, starting at 9 to 12, we will be bringing awareness to autism. As said, autism is one of the fastest growing disabilities that affects our children. Being an educator, I see that in classes on a daily basis, and it's so important that we do bring awareness to the community. That way, it's not just a one, it's a community, shall I say, making a difference in a child's life. So we are glad and just honored that Natchitoches stands with us, Mu Omega of Zeta Phi Beta, to help bring awareness to the citizens. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Look, can I ask this, Miss Harvey? I know she's not a Zeta, but is she a part of what y'all do? Is that a separate autism event?
That is a separate
It's a separate autism event, okay?
Yes.
Okay, look, we're going to put this to a vote. I'm going to cross my fingers, hope the city council would pass. I don't know, these folks can be tough sometimes. All right, we hope they would pass this proclamation. And we certainly, if they do, now if they don't, we can't get a picture, but if they do pass it, we would like to get a picture with at least the reader and myself, but also the entire council. We invite you to do it. All right, any comment about this? Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
For being here today and for speaking on that. Any comment about this proclamation? I want to reiterate those dates, April 12th, or that date, April 12th at City Park, 9 to 12. All right, no comment. Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes. We got it, Bullet. We got it. We got it. Let's get a picture. Again, thank you all for doing this. We'd like to get a picture with, I don't know, it's a large group, but I think we can fit everybody in. All our Zetas, come on. Can I be
Middle May the favorite chapter of David Davis Rock Incorporated, a small token to say thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate that. I'm not usually taller than anybody, so I don't. See everybody?
4 or 5. Okay, can everybody look at me, please? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
All right, thank you, ladies, so much.
That's right, that's right. They get them to squad next
Oh, that was nice. Okay, we have, looks like on the agenda, we've got one ordinance that's for final. And it's read by Councilman Harrington.
This is ordinance 7 of 2025, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches to award the bid for water distribution system improvements, Breeda Town Phase 2. The bid was advertised in the Natchitoches Times on January 16th, January 23rd, and January 30th, 2025, in accordance with the law. And there was 5 bid proposals that were all received and opened. The lowest bid proposal was CDE Construction LLC out of Keithville, Louisiana, for $601,554.20. And whereas on February 24th, 2025, the appointed committee of Clarissa Smith, Finance Director, Ed Lee, Director of Purchasing, Bukhar Muhammad, Utility Department, and Rosemary Eli, Councilwoman, received the bid proposals for water distribution system improvements, Breeda Town Phase 2. And whereas the above appointed committee members unanimously recommend the city award the bid to the lowest bidder, CD Construction LLC, in the amount of $601,554.20. I move to adopt ordinance 7 of 2025.
Second.
All right, so we started Phase 1 of Breeda Town last year. When I talked to Matt, when he was utility director, he said it looked at about 4 different phases for Breeda Town. So this would basically be Phase 2. And we'll have 2 more phases to really get that community totally where that cast iron pipe is gone. I will note, again, and we've talked about South Williams, and that's an area we're looking at as well. And our next year's budget is going to indicate $200,000 in addition, $200,000 more dollars than we normally budget. So we normally budget about $700,000. So we got about $900,000 to try to knock that project out is what we're aiming for. We also have some grant opportunities in capital outlay that we hope will be positive for us. Obviously, we don't know exactly how that's going to land. But again, we are trying to change out as many water lines as we possibly can. Any comments or questions about this particular item? I also want to note that the designer's estimate was originally $640,000, as you heard Councilman Harrington read. This one is at $601,000, the amount for the actual bid. So we got about, from the designer's estimate at least, about a $40,000 difference in the positive for us. So I think that's a little bit of good news on today. All right, I'll take any comments or questions.
That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, especially in this day and age. So we're thankful for that. Okay, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Okay, I mentioned the budget as we're going to have a couple $100,000 addition to do some water lines, and we're going to focus that really on South Williams for next year. But Mrs. Brown-Smith is going to say something in just a moment, but before that, we're going to have Councilman Nielsen to introduce this particular item.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 9 of 2025, an ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Natchitoches for the fiscal year June 1, 2025 through May 31, 2026. Whereas the fiscal year of the city of Natchitoches is from June 1 through May 31 of each year. And whereas a budget has been prepared by the finance director, Clarissa Brown Smith, and has been submitted by the mayor, Ronnie Williams Jr., to the city council for review and consideration. Now therefore be it ordained that the Natchitoches City Council does hereby adopt the budget for the fiscal year June 1, 2025 through May 31, 2026, City of Natchitoches 2025-26 fiscal year, with general fund amount is $22,154,234. Proprietary fund, the utility fund, is $37,789,685. And special and capital project funds is $44,346,557. And be it further ordained in accordance with LRS 391305, the following specifies the mayor's authority to make budgetary amendments without approval of the governing authority, as well as those powers reserved solely to the governing authority. The Home Rule Charter of the City of Natchitoches states in part, at any time during the fiscal year, the mayor may transfer part or all of any unencumbered appropriation balance among programs within a department, office, or agency. Upon written request by the mayor, the council may by ordinance transfer part or all of any encumbered appropriation balance from one department, office, or agency to another, and supplemental, emergency, and reductions of appropriations must be submitted to the council for approval by ordinance. And this ordinance is introduced tonight on March 24, 2025, and the council received their budgets this evening. So this will hold over until...
It'll hold over 45 days, is that right? The charter says 45 days for this one?
It has to be introduced 45 days before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah,
So because we are introducing it now, we actually can vote on it at next meeting.
okay,
And the public hearing is at 4:30.
Yeah, yes.
okay, I
The
got
next
you.
meeting. Yeah, we just have to have it introduced 45 days before.
We can, or we could wait another meeting if we want to, second meeting in April.
Oh, yeah, if we had any
want to.
questions or
Okay,
or anything
yeah.
like that. So what you have in front of you is a rough draft, or the current draft of the budget. Excuse me, it's not as pretty. We had a few technical difficulties with our spreadsheet today, so it's not as pretty, but it does give you all of the detail on every department and their ask for the fiscal year. As you heard, Councilman Nielsen stated the figures for each category, and I'll just kind of explain a little bit about the targets for each of those. So for the general fund, $22.1 million. It's up about $2 million from last year. Some of the key things, of course, is our annual raises that each person will get the cost of living. So we always have to increase for the cost of living. And then also just some operational costs that are going up. Supplies, we haven't seen just a huge jump as we did maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. You know, we saw that huge jump in supply costs. We haven't seen just a huge jump in supply costs, but because the city has multiple projects going on, the cost of the projects, of course, are up. So we are budgeting for that just to make sure that we are adequately showing enough funds there. Then for the proprietary fund, which is our utility fund, that fund is actually down $6 million this year, and it's because of the cost of fuel, the cost of electricity, not fuel. The fuel cost is down, so the cost of electricity is down. So the cost of electricity is down. We also were kind of taking into consideration, excuse my allergies, we also were taking into consideration the change from CLECO to LIPA. So of course, we'll see a possible savings there, but being that the fuel cost is low, we have seen a savings with CLECO as well this year. We actually budgeted at about 44 million last year, being that at the beginning of our budget process, fuel cost was really, really high, but we have seen that reduce dramatically. I think we've had about 6 months running of our PCA being on a decline instead of an incline. So that's pretty much where that difference comes from. We didn't have any other major reductions in any other departments. It's just that the cost of electricity is looking to be a lot less than it was in the previous year. The next category, which is our special and capital projects, it is up about 12 million, but don't be alarmed. The bulk of that is our water treatment plant. So we have to put that on as a budget, but we offset it with the revenue. So it's not like we are 11 million or 12 more million out of our pocket. We're just budgeting on both the revenue side and expense side. And don't forget, our budget is a balanced budget. So we balance it with our revenue. Other projects, we have Safe Streets. We actually also had to budget for the activity that will be going on this following year with the RAISE grant. So again, don't be alarmed that you see that number increase dramatically from last year. But once these projects gain movement, we try to budget it on the books so it doesn't throw our numbers off, throw our general ledger off once we begin to post these invoices and things of that nature. And we don't have to come back to you and do an amendment to recognize it. Later on, we can recognize it in the initial budget, okay? Again, a little bit different from last year. I think we were at about 91 million last year. This year, we'll be at 104 million as the total budget, and that's with all three categories: our general fund, our utility fund, and then our capital project fund. Any questions? Of course, each director has received their budget for review, as well as you guys have received a budget for review. We'll actually be sending out a different template. Again, we had a few technical difficulties with our spreadsheet, but we'll send that familiar template out to you guys through email. And then, of course, you'll receive a final budget before we vote on the next meeting. Yes, yes.
So this, what we have now, will still be in the book?
Yeah, this is the same numbers, just a different format. Yes, ma'am, same numbers, different format. Every department is represented there. So if you do have any questions, every department is represented there, and they're asking what we decided that was an adequate budget for their departments.
Yeah, and I want to say something about, I don't know if I said this before, I do want to put a graphic out there, but as you were talking about the power cost being down, and Bukar can attest to this. So our January LIPA meeting, it was noted that the city of Natchitoches had and I don't know if I said this before to y'all, but the city of Natchitoches had the lowest electric rates in the entire state. In the entire state. Not just in Northwest Louisiana, not just in Central Louisiana, but in the entire state. And that's even with the adjustment that was made over, the two steps that were made. We've got the lowest electric rates. And I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm pretty sure we got the lowest water and sewer rates as well, even with the adjustment that we made. Those numbers change, and we moved up just a little bit, but other municipalities probably moved up since we moved up as well. So hadn't seen that one as recently, but I wanted to share that. We'll probably do a Facebook post on that as well, but just to kind of put it in some perspective where our rates stand, I think we're the lowest in the state consistently. Now, you're going to see that fluctuate just a little bit on the electric side, but for the month of January, we're showing that we were the lowest in the entire state against CLECO, against WEPCO, against every city in the whole state. All right?
And I just had one more comment, Mr. Mayor. Just to kind of go back to the previous budget amendment that you saw just a couple of meetings ago, when you're looking at your budget, you will see that number increase drastically. We had to bump it at about $1.6 million for insurance coverage. Again, we kind of explained last meeting that we've had some vast increases in just the overall cost of our healthcare plan. So I just wanted to make note of that.
So you're
That's
saying
definitely a difference.
that the new budget,
The new budget will reflect that as well.
1.6
Yes.
budgeted for,
Well, additional.
in addition to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For insurance. you said,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
ma'am.
You did report.
And
that.
just health
Yes, ma'am.
insurance.
It's just health insurance that we're seeing that drastic increase in. And again, we are self-insured, so we don't have the mechanism that some commercial insurance is to control that cost. Is whatever is there presented as an expense, that's what we have to recognize. Now, we do have a stop-loss program that will refund some of the additional premiums that we have to put forth, but it doesn't cover it in its entirety. So
Yeah.
going into the next fiscal year, we definitely wanted to budget for whatever that could possibly be, just based on the history of what's been happening over the past maybe year and a half.
Okay. Like we said, it's just been introduced. Certainly reach out to Mrs. Brown-Smith. You can reach out to me as well if you have any comments or questions, council, about the budget for next year. All righty. We have 4 resolutions that we're going to deal with tonight. The first one is read by Councilwoman Washington Eli.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 024, 2025, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a grant agreement with the Rapides Foundation for the Strength of the Families Program grant. Whereas the City of Natchez, sometimes here I've referred to as the city, is municipality located in the state of Louisiana, parish of Natchez, government under Home Rule Charter Code Ordinance, adopted ordinance number 5 in 1977. And whereas the Strength of the Family Program, the science-based family skill training program designed to increase resilience and reduce risk factors and behavioral, emotional, academic, and social problems, and improve family relationship, parenting skills, and youth and social life skill. Whereas the City of Natchez, Louisiana has awarded a grant for the Rapides Foundation for the grant period beginning April the 1st of 2024, ending March the 31st of 2026. Whereas the City of Natchez is opinion that it's the best interest of the city to accept the grant for the Rapides Parish, and does hereby authorize the mayor to execute the grant agreement to behalf of the City of Natchez. And I move to adopt resolution number 024, 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. We've got Ms. Nicole Gray here, who successfully wrote that grant. Can you give us some more details by coming to the podium about this, this opportunity, the value, and what it's going to do for our community?
The Strengthening Families, my name is Nicole Gray. I'm the Community Outreach and Grants Manager for the City of Natchitoches. The Strengthening Families program is presented by the Rapides Foundation under their Healthy Behaviors Initiative. It's an evidence-based parenting program that's designed to help parents and children develop a happier family dynamic. It is found to have improved health outcomes, decreased alcohol and drug abuse in families, decreased violence, and also delinquent behavior in children. The age group is from ages 7 to 17, and it's an 11-week training program that the Coach D Foundation will assist us in executing on. So we're very excited about being awarded this grant. Dallas Russell, who's a program officer with the Rapides Foundation, has been very instrumental in supporting us in getting this grant. Any questions?
Is there a certain value associated with it? I know it may not be one of the 500,000 or a million, but I think what the outcome of what it's aimed to accomplish for us, I think is really important.
We submitted it for the amount that they allocated, which was $100,000. We did massage the budget based on her request, so it will be around $85,000.
Okay.
And how long this program is for? You said 6 weeks? Or
It's an 11-week training
11
program.
weeks. That's good. And it will be up at the Boys and Girls Club, where it will be held, or
It
what
will
facility?
be at the MLK Rec Center.
At the rec center, okay. That's good.
Right, again, good opportunity. I think that those outcomes are really important, particularly as it relates to violence among this age group. So 11-week training program, ages 7 through 17, those are really critical ages that we're certainly trying to target in a positive way, or get some positive action, activity, mentorship, and things like that for them. So again, thanks a lot for writing that and successfully for us, Ms. Gray. Any additional comment or question about this?
Just one more question. When do you expect this to take place, to kick off? I can hear you.
It's scheduled to launch on April 1st. Planning for it will launch on April 1st.
This year, April 1st. That's great, okay.
So planning to launch on April 1st.
And classes will begin in June.
Okay.
Classes to begin in June, okay? Thank you. All righty. Seeing there's no additional comment, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes. And we know the Red Peas Foundation has done some great work. They're the ones that helped to kick off the farmers market here in the city. You see the mobile market and some of those things. Now, we don't have that grant for the farmers market, but we're still absorbing some of that just to continue on for our community because I think it's something that's become popular.
I'm glad to hear Dallas Russell is still with Rapides Foundation.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Positive. That's good.
To your point about the farmers market, we are still looking for funding for that.
Okay, great.
I do
Awesome.
have one more question, I'm sorry. And you may need to come to the podium for people to hear, I don't know. But with this program that's going to be starting June the 1st, do you need volunteers? Do you have workers working or what? To,
We will be recruiting for personnel and family coaches. It's not a volunteer role, everybody will be paid.
Just to say it so everybody can hear who may be at home, we'll be recruiting for, how you say that? Family counselors. So it will be a paid position and not volunteer based. So we're going to use the 85,000 grant win to pay folks to execute the program. Okay? All right, thank you. All right, next we've got our Councilwoman at Large Smith with our next resolution.
thank you, Mayor. This is Resolution 025 of 2025, a resolution authorizing and approving execution of an equipment lease purchase agreement with Cadence Equipment Finance, a division of Cadence Bank. Whereas the mayor and the city council, acting for and on behalf of the lessee, hereby finds, determines, and adjudicates that the lessee desires to enter into an equipment lease agreement, purchase agreement, with the lease schedule and exhibits attached hereto, and substantially the same form as attached hereto, for the purpose of leasing with an option to purchase the equipment as described therein for the total cost specified as equipment. It is necessary for the lessee to approve and authorize this agreement. Now therefore be it resolved that by this governing body for and on behalf of the lessee as follows, that the agreement is being issued. No portion of the rental payments identified in the agreement is secured directly or indirectly by property used or to be used in a trade or business carried. This is introduction. Let's see there. The authorized officer is further authorized for and on behalf of the governing body and the lessee to do all things necessary in furtherance of the obligations of the lessee pursuant to the agreement, including execution and delivery of all other documents necessary or appropriate to carry out the transactions contemplated thereby in accordance with the terms and provisions thereof. Let's see, so much on here. Okay. The lessee desires to designate the agreement as qualified tax-exempt obligation of the lessee as defined in Section 265 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. The aggregate face amount of all tax-exempt obligations, bonds, and other than qualified 501c3 bonds issued are to be issued by the lessee and all subordinate entities thereof during the current calendar year is not reasonably expected to exceed $10 million. The lessee and all subordinate entities thereof will not issue or enter into an excess of $10 million of tax-exempt obligations, including the agreement, but excluding private activity bonds other than qualified for 501c3 bonds during the current calendar year without first obtaining an opinion of nationally recognized counsel in the area of tax-exempt municipal obligations. And I move for adoption of resolution number 025 of 2025.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. I don't know, Donald or Ed, who can say something else about this? Ed is the one, okay.
Yeah, this is just a required form. The resolution was put together by Cadence Bank. This is one of their cookie cutter resolutions, but the most important part of it is if you look at the very bottom of the last section under where it says seal in parentheses, the truck will be returned to River City Hydraulics at the end of the lease. The city of Natchitoches will not retain possession or ownership of the truck at the end of the lease. Because it is called, in here they use the term lease agreement a few times. We're not allowed to do a lease purchase. We're not allowed to do a lease purchase without bidding. We want to simply lease the street sweeper. And if we have a good record with it, street sweepers have a lot of moving parts. They're very high on maintenance. If we have a good truck, we'll entertain going out for bid to buy a used truck, which would make the specifications very tight and match the truck that we are currently using and hopefully get the truck. But if there are maintenance issues on this truck, which would be under warranty, after the 36 months, we would just give them the truck back because we don't want to inherit high maintenance issues on a truck like this. So that is to clarify that it is strictly a lease. The truck will be returned to River City Hydraulics at the end of the 36 months unless we go out for bid to try to buy a used street sweeper.
You said a used?
A used one. This would be the used one. We're getting this
new
will
one,
be
okay.
brand new when we get it. So if we do a used one, it would be this truck in particular and only because it would have a good maintenance record on it.
Okay.
So it's a good practice to do it this way because if you buy it, without being able to try it out first, it just lets you know how the truck performs and whether or not we really want to, quote unquote, bite the bullet and get it.
Spend that kind of money.
Yeah, so it allows us to go ahead and use it. And then if it's good for us, if it doesn't break down as much, it's effective, it does what it needs to do, then at that point, then we'll go out for a bid.
And it would be and if you go out for bid, it would be at the used vehicle price. It wouldn't be the brand new price.
Right, gotcha. And we possibly could keep the one we have if we like it. That's what we're aiming to do.
That's
gotcha.
More or less depreciation price, I guess.
Yeah, the depreciated price.
Mm-hmm. I think it makes sense. We've done it before.
Yes.
Yep. Any comments or questions about this? Additional comments or questions? All right. Seeing none, Mrs. Stacey, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. The next resolution is read by Councilman PT.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 026 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the mayor to designate persons to sign checks, to designate a person to maintain authority of the internet banking, and to designate a person to maintain authority of corporate credit card accounts as part of the banking services agreement with the Bank of Montgomery. I so move to adopt resolution number 026 of 2025.
I second.
We got a second?
I second.
Oh, we got another quiet second. All right. But, no, just messing with Councilwoman Washington, Eli. Mrs. Brown Smith, any other thing that this is?
No, this is just a little bit of housekeeping, just giving us permission to sign checks. I think myself and the mayor is listed as having the authority to have online access to designate the persons who are going to receive purchase cards with Bank of Montgomery, as well as establishing any new accounts with the Bank of Montgomery. So this is just a little bit of homework.
Yes, he didn't read it all. It says, whereas this resolution authorizes the mayor to designate the following persons to sign checks on accounts for the city. Finance director, third-party administrators, workers' compensation account employee, mayor of the city, and the mayor pro tem in the absence of the mayor. Okay, I see it. I didn't see that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Any comments, questions about it? Like you said, it's just a part of
It's just, yep.
transitioning from one fiscal agent to the next.
Yeah, and you actually may see another ordinance come through, just designated them as fiscal agent in a little bit. So it's just you'll see them come up quite a few times just because you're going to a different fiscal institution, so.
We think the transition has been going okay so far?
Transition's been going really well. They've worked with us really, really well. We actually have established all the bank accounts. We've started getting all of our directors signed up for the purchase card process. We've also dealt with our accounting system on getting some of that transition taken care of in regards to creating the new banking codes within our accounting system and doing the transition as far as the general ledger is pertaining to. So a lot of good things have happened so far, and they've been just very helpful, so good deal.
So with the employees and stuff, they bank with Sabine Bank and stuff, would they have to come in and sign any type of documents or anything like that?
Your individual banking institution is not connected to the city at all. You know, they can bank wherever they would like. This is only for the banking that the city does. So how we pay, where we keep our funds.
Okay, because I was thinking and stuff that it was the employees' checks.
No,
and
because
stuff.
right now the employees are not required to bank with Sabine. Yeah, so they their individual banking institutions are of their discretion.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
Okay. All right. Any additional comments? All right. Seeing now, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
PT?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Last resolution on the agenda is read by Councilman Harrington.
Resolution 27 of 2025, a resolution authorizing Mayor Ronnie Williams Jr. to authorize the use of local funds for engineering costs and hire Baylor engineers for engineering services related to the fiscal year 25 LCDBG Public Facilities Program. Whereas the purpose of the application is to seek grant funding for repairs to the City of Natchitoches sewer treatment plant, and whereas the necessary scope of work to be implemented by Baylor engineers is for the design and engineering services required to construct the stated improvements requested to be funded, and whereas a commitment for this scope of work is projected to be in the amount of $177,175 and is subject to being approved for funding under the stated program. I move to adopt resolutions 27 of 2025.
Eddie, there was a typo, can you read that in the numbers, 197,000?
Oh, because I was reading it as.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I read 100,
You read the words.
Yes.
175,
It is 197.
197,000.
That's the correct, 197 is the correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a 20,000 difference, but yeah. it's 197.
$197,175.
Thank you, we'll correct that on the
Gotcha.
resolution.
Yep, and so we only do this if we win the grant, pay for the engineering. And by, a lot of times you get more points if the city pays for the engineering. And I'm not sure exactly which project, Bukar, do you know which project we're seeking funding for? Have we decided yet?
Yes. This is in connection with our sewer thickener, number 2. We have just completed, I remember last month council meeting, we introduced the completion of the number 1. last month.
So it sounds like it's going to be probably a $2 million project.
Yes.
Because normally the engineering is about 10%.
Yes.
So nearly a $2 million project is what we're looking for. And this is coming from, you see, CDBG funds from the state. So we pay for LCDBG. So we pay for engineering, and that'll help us hopefully in the grant application. That's all it's really saying. We're not committing any fund. If we don't get the grant, that 197 we don't spend. But if we do get it, we spend the 197 in engineering ourselves to then get the $2 million for construction to make the improvements out our sewer plant. Any comments or questions about this? All right, and the other firm that's on our water treatment project right now, they also, I think they engineered the Breedertown water lines as well. So, all right, seeing no other comments or questions, Mr. Stacy, roll call vote.
Do we have a second?
No, I don't think we got a motion or a second.
We got a motion.
We got a motion. Eddie, you did a motion?
Second.
Oh, my gosh. Quiet motions, okay. All right, so we got a motion and a second. All right, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, thank you for catching that, Mrs. Stacy. Look, we've got some announcement, but before we do that, I want to get Steve to cue us up. We got a video that State DOTD did a drone video for us of the airport, and we were making a lot of improvements there. I think Ed even had some free ice cream out there or something for the pilot, so that's pretty cool. Okay, but I want you to look at that video. If you could make it full screen, Steve, it's only 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I wanted to show the 20-minute one, but they said don't do it, so but we got the 2 minute, 15-second one for you.
Try to get it up on both screens.
Okay, yeah, got you.
Natchitoches Regional Airport is a general aviation facility located in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Spanning 205 acres, the airport, identified as IER, is owned and operated by the City of Natchitoches. Arriving and departing aircraft can utilize either one of the two available runways. Runway 725 is 4,000 feet long and 60 feet wide, and runway 1735 is 5,003 feet long and 150 feet wide. The FBO provides assisted self-service and full-service 100 low-lead and Jet A fuel, and offers several amenities from its terminal building, including a pilot's lounge and restrooms. According to the most recent Louisiana Airports Economic Impact Study, IER supports 114 jobs with a total payroll of over $4.5 million. The total output of the airport represents a combination of all on-airport, visitor, and capital improvement spending, which equates to over $19.6 million annually. According to the most recent U.S. Census data, Natchitoches Parish has a population of 37,515 and has 809 employer establishments. Data USA reports the three largest industries in the parish as educational services, healthcare and social assistance, and retail trade. Due to support from the Federal Aviation Administration and the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, the Natchitoches Regional Airport stands ready for the needs of today as well as those of tomorrow. Stop by IER during your next flight, or make Natchitoches, Louisiana, your future destination.
All right, I think that gives you an opportunity to see some of the improvements that have been made and some of the economic impact we don't always think about. I mean, I know it's not like you can go catch a flight personally to do that, but conversations with Ed and things like that, some of our industry in the parish, Alliance Compressors and their executives, you know, they've flown into the airport. We've had people such as Archie, what's his name, Archie Manning, when his grandson was playing against the Manning Tigers, he flew in and things like that. So a lot of that we don't really document because a lot of those folks want their privacy and things of that nature. But But, just wanted you to see that. We'll get this on our social media, our Instagram, and our Facebook page as well. Ed, any other comment you want to say about that?
No, I just think the LADOTD Aviation Division, they're trying to show the importance of airports to communities. A lot of people know the airports are out there, but they don't know the economic impact it has on the community and the jobs and just the overall importance of airports and communities, but they're very important. And we have one of the best small airports in the state, and people that fly through will tell you that. And, it's a good thing for the city of Natchitoches, and we're still working hard out there every day to make it even better.
We recently had Cleo Fields and the governor. Did they fly in to that?
The governor did.
The governor did. No,
okay.
Cleo drove, but the governor did. Yeah, and that free ice cream, I think, Ed, is really going to do the trick.
If you got to come buy some jet fuel or some avgas out there before you get there.
Oh, you got to buy something to get the free ice cream. So no, you can't just go off the street, y'all, and get
No,
the
that's
free ice
right. It doesn't work like that.
Was
But look,
video shot by our tenant in the back?
no, was it? I think it's the state that did that. Somebody that did the video.
state did that.
Oh, say it.
They paid for it and they did the study.
Well, look, can I say this too? If you ever notice, you'll see a city of Natchitoches vehicle, but they're not a city employee. And I've noticed that a few times, like, what are they doing driving in city car? But a lot of times there's somebody who flew in. People fly in all the time. And they might, because we have courtesy vehicles, right?
We have 3 courtesy vehicles.
3 courtesy vehicles. And so you might see somebody going downtown, going to get something to eat or something like that, who you don't recognize, but they've flown in and they're using a courtesy vehicle to just get around town and do some things. So that's another little cool thing about it. So if you happen to notice, that emblem on the vehicle and you don't notice the face, it's probably what it is. Somebody is going downtown to do something while they wait on whatever it is. Okay. All right. Again, thanks for sending that our way. We always encourage regroup, and we encourage the Go Natchitoches app as well. A few announcements that I think we have on tonight. Our next meeting is going to be on the 14th. This is the time. Is this kind of where we think you get a little break? Is that right, Ms. Stacy?
Yeah, we got a third Monday.
Yeah, we got a third Monday, so you get a little break. So we don't see each other in 2 weeks. We see each other in 3 weeks is what that's going to be, okay? We got the Zydeco line dancing class. All right, presented by the Mayor's Health and Fitness Council. All right, it's going to be on March the 29th, which is this Saturday.
This Saturday. And
This
Miss Sharon,
Saturday.
who just left, she's a part of that fitness.
And
council.
that's on the Riverbank stage. On the Riverbank stage, so that's cool. So again, we'll be pushing that. I don't know if it made the Go Natchitoches app yet, but we certainly want to get it on there. We announced this the last time. We're going to announce it again on March 29th from 2 to 5, the Crawfish Ball. And it's for a cause at the Ben D. Johnson Center. You can purchase your tickets at www.bdjcenter.org. All right, this is a Sinlot Burn Run. Back to the basic, great food and enjoy ride. And this is Brothers Keeper. So this is Chief Wynn. This is your group.
Yes, sir.
Any quick thing you want to say about it?
Come by Barbecue Plate and support the cause, supporting the Lions.
That's Saturday, April 5th.
Yes,
Mhm.
Saturday, April 5th.
Gotcha.
If you got a motorcycle, come ride.
Yes, sir. All right, so is that Mu Omega Zeta chapter in partnership with Healthy Blue Louisiana, Autism Awareness Fund Day. And again, this is going to be, as we announced earlier, but here's the flyer. And we want to make sure we get that on the, it may already be on the, I don't know, it may already be on the Go Natchitoches app. But April 12th, April 12th, next month from 9 to 12. Okay, and so we've got the Jazz and R&B Fest. We're looking forward to that. Of course, it's a staple here in the city. It's going to be the 9th and 10th of May. And Gretchen Wilson, I believe that she's the headliner, right? Gretchen Wilson is, but you've got some other ones as well. The funk legend, the Barcades. I think some people have been talking about the Barcades in my little group, okay? So that should be real fun. And they've got 3 stages. We've got 3 stages, okay? So, again, looking forward to a really, really fun night. Again, you don't want to miss what they have going on. And you can grab your tickets at not quite all the way spelled Natchitoches, but the NatchJazzFest.com. All right? We're good? Is that it? Okay, and then we've got City of Lights Crawfish. This is basically the fair board that we said, and I think we've talked in our staff meeting about maybe putting a team together to participate. So you may see a city team in there this year. But that's May 17th, and the Natchitoches Fair Board is one of their fundraisers that they do. Of course, you know they put on the fair and everything. That's the end of our announcements?
I can't move it.
Okay, all right, that may be it. All righty, so again, hopefully everybody adheres to those announcements. All right, at this time, we will hear a motion to adjourn.
I so move, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.